Before we do example 4, please take a look at the box up on the top. So read through that, pause it, read through that, and then come to example 4 and I'll explain what it's talking about. So now that you've read the box, let's take a look at finding a reference angle. We're going to start with degrees and then go to radians. If I want to find the reference angle of 288 degrees, I'm first going to go ahead and plot where that angle is. So if here's my coordinate plane, thinking about our degrees, here's 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, and all the way around is 360 degrees. And what I'm looking at is I'm looking at 288 degrees, which is going to be somewhere between 270 and 360, so it's going to be in the 4th quadrant. So basically what I have is this angle here, which rotated all the way around, and this is 288 degrees. What I'm looking for is this little angle inside here, angle theta. And that's going to be my reference angle. My reference angle always goes towards the x-axis, never to the y, always to the x. So I'm going to take 360 and subtract 288 to figure out what this angle is. So I'm taking 360 minus 288, and that gives me 72 degrees as my reference angle. Now let's take a look at it in terms of radians. So with negative 5 pi over 12, let's start by figuring out where that is on our coordinate axis. Because it's a negative angle, that means we're going to be rotating the opposite direction, so we're going this way. So 0 radians is going to be here to start, and then this would be negative pi over 2. And since we're dealing with pi over 12, we need to convert this. So to make this into 12, we have to multiply the bottom by 6, which means we'd also multiply the top by 6. So this is going to be the same thing as negative 6 pi over 12. Rotating halfway around is negative pi. And again, if we change it in terms of 12, so it would be negative 12 pi over 12. And then back up to the top here, this would be negative 3 pi over 2. And converting that to 12ths, we would get 18 pi over 12. And then all the way around would be negative 24 pi over 12, or 2 pi. Then if we take a look at, we want negative 5 pi over 12, so we're going in this direction. Now I labeled all these, which you don't necessarily have to do every time. Once you notice that this is negative 5 pi over 12, if we have negative 6 pi over 12 here and 0 here, we know negative 5 pi over 12 is going to be lying in this 4th quadrant here. So here is our angle, which is negative 5 pi over 12. And what we're looking for, again, is we're looking for this angle in here. And that angle is going to be the difference between 0 and negative 5 pi over 12. So between 0 and negative 5 pi over 12, your reference angle is always going to be positive. So here our answer, or our reference angle, is just 5 pi over 12 after we subtract. Next, I would like you to do one on your own. So another reference angle in terms of radians. So go ahead, pause the video. Try it out. If you did try this correctly, you should have gotten the reference angle to be pi over 4. If you have any questions or need help with this one, please let me know.